Hello everyone, this is the game engine that I have been developing, a little bit of a sneak preview. Yeah, this is the sort of thing you'll be making this little quick demo. Bring it over here. Alright, so this is basically little scenery we got going on here. It's nothing very much, but something little. Now, say for example in a game you're walking down a path and you wanted to have the time set to nighttime. So we got this little blue box here as a placeholder. You might have it invisible or whatever have you. You might have a timer that after, I don't know, a minute or so it might change to evening, and then it would just change to nighttime from there. Now before I move into this box and the time changes, notice that we have shadows all working. We have skyboxes, obviously. Distance, fade, fog, whatever you want to call it. There we go. It's quite evident there. At the moment it's got it white for the sake of simplicity. You can make it exactly the distance color if you want, but that's what I've got at the moment. What else have we got? Yeah, that's just about it at the moment. Oh yeah, player is fully functional with jumping and whatnot. And this side of the tree is dark, and this side of the tree is light. And the shadows, obviously, as I mentioned before. So that's that. Now let's see what changes when we move in here. Quick transition, as you can see, and wow, big difference. So basically, it's all dark now. We have a different sky. Obviously the text is different, it says night. We no longer have shadows, and the fog has changed to black, so it matches, in this certain skybox, it matches the distance. And yeah, so you can still see, but it's dark. You can adjust all the light settings as well. So you can have it pitch black, and you might want to have a flashlight as well. Say, I don't know, for whatever game, dark game. So yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at how to create a simple scene like this. As I said, you don't have to have it like this subtle in an actual game. You could have it so that when you, after a certain time, a counter increases, and then if the counter is 1, then it'll be in daytime, 2 might be evening, and 3 might be nighttime, and then 4 might be dawn, and then 5 might be daytime again, and then it'll reset the counter. So and then it'll just keep going around like that. That's the sort of thing that you can do, I guess, to create a more realistic day-night cycle. But this is what we have for now. So I guess we'll start with the setting up of the game engine. Let's just close this and bring up one. Right, so this is what you'll start with when you get the game engine. You'll basically have this folder, which is the files folder, which is basically where all of your files are stored for like or add-ons, audio, entities, textures, and models when I implement them. So that's what you have in this folder. This folder you don't need to worry about the engine data. This is all of the other stuff that we don't need to worry about. That's all engine stuff. Okay, to get started, we'll have to create some shortcuts. So these two files are what you use to manage the main one. Use this one before you want to play the game, just before, and this one when you're editing the code. So what you need to do is you need to copy this and paste shortcut right here. Okay, then you need to go to properties, and in the target section here you'll need to go all the way to the end, add a space, and then put main.txt, apply, and OK. Then you need to go back, so that basically specifies the code to convert to engine readable code is main.txt, which is in this folder. Make sure it's a shortcut, not the actual file, or it won't work. Then you need to get this one, and you need to copy that and paste as shortcut right here. Go down to properties again, and then go to main.txt space. Make sure you put the space there, that's important, and then main.txt. Apply. Okay. Now, for convenience, we're also going to paste a shortcut for the main.txt, which is the code file. Whoops. Yes. Paste shortcut. And the editor. And the debug log reader. This is basically if you have any errors in your program. Avast is just analyzing that, don't worry about that. So yeah, this is basically what we had. It might go away in a sec because Avast is analyzing it because no one's downloaded it because I haven't put it up yet. But basically this basically grabs the code that's been executed, and it's just, hold on one sec. Yeah. So basically, if you want to run through this, you can. If you have any code errors, if something's not working right, you always go to here, and you'll be able to look through this and see what your problem is. At the moment, we've got this little syntax error here for clear, but that's alright, that doesn't matter at the moment. Right. If you want to, we'll go through this. If you want to skip it, skip about a minute. But as you can see, debug log, creating player. This is pretty self-explanatory. Creating cube red. This is the floor. Now, basically, what's happened is in the code, it's set the scaling for the X and Z to 1,000 each. So this is actually the ground you saw, except it's been stretched and retextured. Create trigger. So basically, go to name create trigger. This basically in this sub procedure, it creates the trigger. So trigger code set to go to execute trigger, exit trigger. So when you enter the code, the trigger, it will then execute this sub procedure here. Creating trigger zone, which is basically the trigger that you walk into, and it sets the text to time day, and that ends, and then that's the end of the sub procedure there. So now, there's a few other things like it creates trees and stuff that's not shown in here at the moment. I can add that if we need to, but anyway, create trigger. Trigger code set to go to execute trigger. Creating trigger zone time day. Did I just go through that? Yeah, I did. Go to name execute trigger. I'm not sure what this is doing here. I'll see if I can fix that. This is the sub here. I don't know why these three things are here. Probably accidental. Anyway, trigger code set to when you enter the trigger, it will execute this sub procedure. The text will set to time night, and it'll do the fog and the light. Those aren't shown in here. I'll have to add those. A few things to do. It'll destroy the trigger zone, so you don't keep walking through it. And yeah, not sure what this is here for. And yeah, there's a couple of errors here, a couple of things here which I'm not sure why they're here, but I'll fix them up. Don't worry about that. It's easy enough to do. And that's it for the debug log moment. So now we're going to have a look at how to create something, a game like that. So at the moment, hold on, just going to convert this real quick. Key to continue, and it's locked up because Avast is not liking it. There we go. It's just how to analyze it. That's fine. So yeah, that works. Let's drag that into there. It pops up. Press key to continue. Okay, so now we can have a look at it in our editor. And Avast is analyzing, so we're just going to have to wait for that. I'll kill Avast for now. Okay. Sorry about that. Close this. Okay. So you go File, Open, and you choose the shortcut, main.txt shortcut. Whoops. Hold on. Here we go. Open. I'll just say that. And yeah, at the moment we've got nothing in here, so what you need to type is sub main, 2 lines, and sub. Okay, this is basically the start for your thing. So yes, okay, saves it now. Okay, so to get started, okay, let's go and look at this. The original code for the thing. Submain defines the entry point, clears the debug logs every single time you have a clean log file. Game object name player, game object y2, game object create my player. Basically sets the reference of the object name to create to player, which needs to be player. Game object y2 creates it, because originally when you create a game object, it's all it's going to be at 0, 0, 0. This basically makes sure that it's x, 0, z is 0, but y is 2, so you don't spawn in the middle of the floor. Game object create my player. This basically is the display name. This lets you reference it at runtime to destroy it or to change its location or whatever. Adds the skybox to this sky name and changes the light to on. So that's the overall light. You can have individual control over this, but at the moment we're just using this for simplicity. I'm just going to pause this and I'll be right back so I can split this in multiple parts. Okay, we're back. Now, fog color R, 55, whoops, let's leave that, whatever. This changes the fog color red variable to 255, G to 233, and B to 218. This is basically making it like a white with a bit of orange tinge to it. And the density is 1. That's for distance sort of shaded stuff, and then it sets it to enable. If you want it to be thicker, then you change that obviously up. Might change that to 5 if that's kind of really thick, but whatever. And that enables the fog. Terrain offset X -70. This basically the terrain is for like trees and grass. As you can see down here. This is the offset. So if you created that at 0, 0, then when you did it, it would be kind of far out because the way it's set up. But you just change that to -70, -70, and that's pretty much at your starting point. Terrain create. Terrain grass create. There's nothing you need to set for that. Just create it. Game object name cube red. This is what I showed you in the debug log. Creates a red cube. Scale X and Z are both 1000, so it stretches it out and creates that as grass G, like grass ground. This sets the texture so it's not red to grass2.jpg, and that's the name of the object. Now to keep everything organized, we're going to create the trigger in a separate function. Okay, so this is the trigger function that creates it. Game object name trigger zone, X, Z, and Y, X5, Z5, and Y1. Actually creates it at that location. It will be created at that location. Define the trigger zone code. This is necessary before you create it. And I called it my trigger, so create my trigger. And then this just sets a texture for it. The texture must be done after the game object creation. And notice I used the display name and not trigger zone. Alright, that's all that there. That's the basics of the thing. The txt day time. This is basically defining a variable, and the value is time day. sets the text to txt day. Go away. It was just because of us finished its stuff. Text print text txt day, which basically just referencing this variable here. Sets the size, the font size to 20. Offset x to -50, so it's in the middle of the screen, not over the other side, and shows it. End sub. Now, this is the execute trigger function. Back here, the trigger zone code is exit trigger, which is go to exit trigger, I should say, which is basically when you use the go to command that goes to a function, jumps to it, and so whenever the trigger zone my trigger is triggered, hence trigger zone, then it will go to this area here, which is the night changer. So light off changes the light to nothing, so was not nothing, but it's dark. Changes the skybox. Oh, I forgot to mention the skybox is this one here. I don't think I mentioned that. Skybox light off, skybox sky 6, RGB for the fogs is 0, so that's black, black, and black. Well, nothing, 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 which is black. Density is 2, so it doubles the density, sorry, and it's enabled. Defines another variable called txt text night, which is equal to time night. Pretty self-explanatory what that does. Sets the text print text to txt text night, size 20, offset x -60, and shows it. Which basically just updates it, and then it destroys the trigger my trigger. So that's basically what it does, and how to set up the engine, and how to create a simple demo, I guess you could say. This demo will be included in the final release of the engine with this code included, so you can have a look at it for yourself. So yeah, that's a little demo of what I have at the moment. So yeah, make sure you always delete that. Make sure when you build your game, you always run your, oops, not that one, always run this one, and you keep continue, and as you can see now the code has been changed so that the engine can read it, because if you don't, I'll just show you that it works if you use this one, and what happens if you don't. Where is it? There it is. So you can, as you can see with this one, and it's loading, there we go, it works. As you can see, the trees are in random locations, so that was quick when you walk into that, time night. If you don't, let's use that to convert back to this sort of thing. If you just use this, the engine will just appear black, as a black screen. So if you play, then it'll just be black. There's nothing to show here. You'll probably get a bunch of errors in the debug log actually. No, you still get all, wait. Hang on. No, this just hasn't updated. But yeah, this is the previous log, that's why. But basically, yeah, it'll just appear black because there's nothing really to, well, it doesn't know what's happening. The reason why the update log is still what the previous one is because it doesn't know what it's reading. So it just hasn't been able to update the log at all. So yeah, that's why that happened, actually. And yeah, so that's all for this update. I'll have to fix a few of those errors that have occurred, but you know, this is still early build, not releasable yet. But this is just a little demo. There's much more you can do with it, of course. Like I could create a perfectly good day-night cycle, smooth. If enough people want to, I will. But at the moment, that's all. Hope you enjoyed. Short little demo. As I said, you can do a lot more with it, but that's all for now. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.